I'm speaking to Karley's mum, Nikki, who's spent the last few days fairly stressed, I would imagine, as Karley went through her major brain operation now. Nikki, so it all started on 2 days ago, Tuesday, and it was all lined up for about 11 or 11:30, but didn't happen till 2:30. So can you tell us?
Okay, well, by 2:38, she was anaesthetised and snoring like a baby.
Very big baby.
And basically, she went off into the theatre, and then surgery went completely to plan.
That's a plus, isn't it?
Yep, there was no problems with the actual procedure of the hemispectory.
Yeah.
And the skull reconstruction has also gone amazing.
Beautiful.
I think they have put some titanium and screws and things in her head, as well as possible bone cement. And she looks fabulous. This area where she had the herniation of the actual brain, it's all gone, and it looks nice and smooth, and it looks lovely. Yeah, well, it was just over the 6 hours. She was when I got up into the PICU, which is the ICU unit, that was at about probably a bit after 10 o'clock on Tuesday night that we saw her, and she'd already had a vomit and that after the anaesthetic. And then when I went in to see her, they were sort of trying to get her on her side because she was still, gagging and heaving and but then all of a sudden she sort of sat up. It was a bit like The Exorcist, I suppose. She sat up, she used both her arms and held her own weight, and her eyes sort of half opened, and she was still, all that biley stuff was dripping out of her mouth, and then she just
back to sleep.
Went back to sleep.
Thank you very much. I've had enough of this.
Yeah, enough. And then when I went up to intensive care yesterday morning, they'd moved her from the single room sort of into a bigger room, and she was, sort of woke up and gave us a little bit of a smile, but it was just a one-sided, grin, and we thought, we've eyeballed her, she's fine and she's doing well. The machines and all the wires and that were quite a bit daunting.
Tubes and...
tubes and things like that, but no breathing tube, which was fantastic. Like that's,
good.
Yep.
You expected that, didn't you?
Yes, so no, she was breathing on her own and all the rest of it. So we sort of left her in the hands of the PICU unit yesterday. So we headed to Westfield to get her some goodies and teddies and Lego and lots of different bits and pieces. And then we got a call from the PICU at about 3:30 to say that they were actually taking her up to the ward. So they transferred her from ICU straight up into the ward. It's a high dependency ward for kids that have had all this, major surgery. So that was fantastic. But she did, she sort of vomited quite a bit yesterday, and at one stage her heart rate did drop while she was still in intensive care down to about 32 beats per minute. Yeah, that wasn't good. And when I heard that last night, I was like, oh, God, and I sort of hung on to the bed and I grabbed her hands and, don't you do that again, I said. But look, one of the neuros did explain to me, though, that, your heart is an organ that beats by itself, but there's still a nerve that runs from your brain down to your heart to tell your heart to beat.
Down to the heart, the
regulator. But, now that she's had the full anatomical, well, it's going to take a few days for, the nerves and the messages to get through to that other side and all the rest of it. So that sometimes does happen, but, they gave her appropriate medication to, stabilise the heart as well. And touch wood, that hasn't happened since. So it might have just been, the body readjusting and maybe a little bit of body shock or something, I don't know. But and today, like when she woke up this morning and actually spoke a sentence, was unbelievable.
Really?
I could not believe it.
Oh, heavens above. And she made sense and all that sort of stuff.
She knew exactly who I was, where she was, and and she knew
what had happened. Oh, isn't that brilliant?
Right. Well, she's had quite a few drains and things in. Well, they've managed to take the drain that sits between her scalp or the skin and the skull itself. That drain's actually come out today. So she's, her central line in her groin has also come out. So she's only got a cannula and stuff in. The rehab team have been to see her. And God bless, she was actually then moving her fingers and doing this. They've been in and they've basically said we'll give her until probably Monday, still to remain flat because she's got the VED drain in as well. So that's monitoring all the, the fluid that's coming from the actual cavity. So that's the cerebral spinal fluid. So once that drain gets out, and that's hopefully sort of Sunday, Monday, then they'll get her up and see if she can stand up and all the rest of it. Oh, so, yeah, I reckon she'll jump out of bed and start doing cartwheels down the corridor or something. Running on no sleep myself, but it doesn't matter. Like, I keep getting shivers and chills, just thinking, my God, what a champ.
Well, Nick, thank you very much for sharing your story of your lovely daughter, and Karley for sharing her story with us. And, of course, everyone in Cowra is really keen that everything keeps going swimmingly. And we will check in with you in the next few days.
Beautiful.
And get
Thanks, Gary.